Sorry, I need a tablespoon measure.
I don't know. We're trying to make matzo ball soup.
We're making matzo ball soup, dude.
But Boz keeps leaving the set.
There's not a single tablespoon measure in this kitchen.
We have one right here.
Okay. We're back. Yes. And today we are making BA's Best Matzo Ball Soup, which is a recipe that I developed last year in time for the high holidays. And Adam...
It's like what? Not the high holidays.
Is that wrong?
Passover.
What's the high holidays?
That's like Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur.
Do you not eat matzo ball soup on those?
I mean, you could, but it's a Passover thing, the matzah. Anyway, so she developed it for Passover.
So I took a lot of care in developing this recipe. Adam's never made matzo ball soup, as I just learned.
That is true. So I'm looking to learn today.
Oh, that's so nice. Okay, well, let's start learning then. We're gonna break this up into the stock, the balls, and the assembly. So first things first, we're gonna build a very beautiful chicken stock. And that is going to start with chicken wings.
Where are the wings?
They're in the oven.
Behind door number 1.
Oh, look, they're in the oven. Okay, these have been in the oven for 40 minutes. And we are just roasting them until they get nice golden brown color to develop some flavor before they go into the stock. So that's the first step of this recipe.
So what does the roasting do?
Concentrating and caramelizing the flavors of the chicken and activating the Maillard reaction, which is that delicious golden brown caramelization that happens when you cook something.
All right, so we got the bones in there. Now we're gonna add the veg. All right, one thing, correct me if I'm wrong, but when you're making stock, you don't need to peel the veg, right?
You're not wrong.
All right, so we're doing what? We got 1 carrot, just rough chop?
Yeah, rough chop. It doesn't need
Watch
to be
your
precise.
fingers.
It's all going to get strained out in the end anyway. 2 stalks of celery, also rough chop.
Okay, this is a parsnip. It lends a nice sort of subtle sweetness to the soup,
Yeah.
which I love. I never used to do before, and now I always do it. Yeah, so I'm a big fan of that. Now, are we doing both onions?
Yeah, we're doing both onions and we're leaving the skins on.
I've heard, correct me if I'm wrong, that these skins actually impart color to the stock. Is that true?
Look at the color of the skins.
All right, so just
I
a
don't think so.
quarter is fine?
Yeah. Quarter.
What about this? There's a lot of
Parsley.
All
in.
of it?
Yep, just go in.
All of it?
In. Yep.
I'm just going to chop it like a couple of times.
Okay, you don't need to do that.
Well, it's more manageable that way. It's not all like lumped together.
So I think
am I
just
doing
do a
a
good
little lateral sort of thing here?
Doing a lateral thing.
Elliptical, whatever the word is.
Crosswise.
There you go. Boom. Peppercorns.
Yep, whole.
Okay, water. So
Yeah.
what's your sort of guide for how much water to add?
16 cups, so 4 quarts. So, and really you just want enough to kind of cover everything so that nothing's popping out.
All right, so we're just going to bring it to a simmer and then reduce it?
Yeah, once it comes to a simmer, bring it down so that it's very gently simmering.
All right, so this is going to cook for about an hour and a half total. So it smells amazing.
And
nice golden amber color,
Yes,
correct?
but
But-
halfway through, so at the 45-minute mark, we're going to add these chicken legs into the soup. I'm going to season these legs with salt to allow them to get seasoned all the way throughout. So they'll sit for 45 minutes with this seasoning on them, and then we'll add them in.
All right, so the stock's been going about 45 minutes. So at a low burble. So now the nicely salted legs, they're going to go in and they're going to cook for 45 minutes?
Yeah, so they're basically going to like braise more or less in this broth until they're impossibly tender.
Look at the color of that broth.
Yeah, already, and we still have 45 minutes.
Yeah, it's so rich, and you're getting like the roasted wings, the onion peel, you got the little fat and everything, the fond.
And it smells friggin' delish.
Yeah.
Let's talk about matzo balls.
Yes.
I feel like, / know that you have feelings about them.
I think so much of matzo balls come down to the texture.
Yeah.
And that's where people either differ in their opinions or they complain.
I think these are a happy middle ground. This matzo ball mixture has 6 eggs, which I will beat as I chat. The egg yolks are going to give richness to the balls, and the egg whites are going to give them some of that levity and fluffy texture. So beating the 6 eggs first until there's no more streaks. I also have 1/2 a cup of melted schmaltz, which, reminder, is rendered chicken fat.
Okay, couple questions.
Yes.
If you can't find schmaltz, you still need some sort of fat in there, correct?
Yes.
So what would you use?
I would recommend using a neutral tasting oil like vegetable or canola oil. I tested this with melted butter actually and just found the flavor to be very bizarre.
Too much.
The next thing that's going in this bowl is 6 tablespoons of chicken broth, which is taken right out of that pot. So you don't necessarily need to use chicken stock or broth. You could use water, but since we already have that flavorful liquid right on the stove, why not add it in here? And then finally, this is approximately 3 tablespoons of chopped dill. Did you measure?
Really, really nicely chopped.
It is beautiful. 1.5 teaspoons of salt. It's really important to season your matzo mixture, otherwise they will taste like nothing. And lots of black pepper.
Wait, she just did 3 teaspoons.
No, those are half teaspoons.
Oh, those are half teaspoons.
And now we are whisking in 1.5 cups of matzo meal. So what happens now that everything is combined is we're going to let this sit for at least 35 minutes and up to 2 hours. And the matzo meal is going to hydrate from all of that liquid. And the consistency of this batter is going to change pretty dramatically over that period of time.
When letting sit, do we refrigerate or room temp?
Refrigerate, and
Okay.
we'll cover it also.
Okay.
Look at
Wow,
that.
look at that.
Look how much it firmed up. Can you see that?
It reminds me of like when you make falafel.
Yeah. It does look like falafel mixture.
All right, so what are we doing?
Okay, so we're going to roll these into 1.5-inch balls.
Okay.
Bearing in mind that these are going to almost double in size when
Wow.
they cook because there's eggs in them and they're going to puff.
So you want to make that size to start?
Yeah. Go in for like a little pile.
But you didn't get your hand wet first.
It's okay. This is going to get really dirty.
Okay.
And then, yeah, using damp hands will help the matzo meal not stick to your fingers. And then these poach for 30 to 40 minutes, which is a really long time. And if you were to open the pot like 15 minutes in, you'd think that they are done because they look big and puffed, but actually they're only cooked on the outside and they still need to cook on the inside. So you really need to follow the recipe. Yeah.
If you have leftovers, as we often do when Maxine makes hers, the next day, take the leftover matzo balls, slice them in half or into like chunks, and fry them up in butter.
Stop.
And have them with your scrambled eggs in the morning. They're so good. You get fried, crispy
Oh my
matzo
God, that
ball
is genius.
patties.
We have a pot of boiling water, and there is exactly 3 quarts of water in here. This is a measured amount of water and a measured amount of salt so that we have properly seasoned matzo balls at the end. So you gotta measure.
How much salt?
3 tablespoons. And then just use a spoon to gently lower them into the pot. So this will come back to a simmer. They're already starting to float. And once it comes to a simmer, we'll cover it and we'll set a timer for 30 minutes. And at 30 minutes, we'll come check on our tester matzo ball.
Okay.
Okay.
We're bringing the soup over.
Yes. Oh, thank you.
All right. You're gonna.
You're
How
so
gorgeous
strong.
is that? You're gonna take the chicken out.
So just to recap, this is 1.5 hours of simmering, and I am now taking the legs out and leaving behind the wings, because the legs are going to make their way into the final soup later on.
And the legs have cooked for a total of only 45 minutes, which is enough to get them tender, fall apart, but not overcooked.
Correct.
All right, hold that. Yeah. Watch out for the splish splash.
I gotcha.
Get in there, guys. Oh, wow.
It smells good.
It smells so good.
Wow.
And the steam is good for your face.
Yeah, the facial.
The chicken stock facial.
Yes, I will do the shreddage, which you can also just do it with your hands, but this is very hot. And then it's going to go back in the soup.
Okay, then carrots also.
Yes. With the intention of staying as nostalgic as possible, we decided to cut them into carrot coins, which probably we would never do now.
Okay, so I'm just doing like that.
Not even, like,
Not even on the bias.
yeah, like,
Wow,
coin.
old school.
Yeah, like, let's go for it if we're going to
Okay.
go for it.
All right.
We're kind of into the retro look.
So like that.
Yeah,
That's cute.
it's cute. I mean, honestly, you can cut them however you want. The most important thing is that you're slicing them evenly so that they simmer and cook through at the same rate. So let's go back in with the shredded chicken.
Wow, I almost spilled all of that.
You mad?
No. Oh my God, that looks so good.
Yeah, it is so
It's like
good.
a golden elixir.
Okay, so the chicken is going back into the soup to warm through, and now we're going to add the carrots because they need to cook. We'll bring it over to the stove
So
for the last few minutes.
for a carrot that thick, we're like 10 minutes max over sort of a low simmer.
Yeah, I think mine were a little thinner, so mine were like a 4 to 5, but you know, you just taste
Yeah.
one.
So we're gonna bring this back to a simmer, and then the matzo balls go in here, correct?
Actually,
No.
matzo balls can go straight into their serving
Into the
bowls.
bowl. Oh, so the matzo balls never get to hang out in the hot tub.
They don't need to. I mean, they're cooked. They're gonna get combined in the bowl. They don't need to be cooked any further. We don't want to sully the broth.
Okay.
So just keep
All
it
right.
separate.
So we need about 8 more minutes on this guy.
Yeah, just bring it to a simmer again.
Yeah.
We're gonna check on the matzo balls.
Let's go.
So they are poaching.
They're
let's,
gorgeous.
You know what? Let's take one over to the cutting
Here
board.
you go. Slotted spoon. This guy.
Yep.
Oh, it's so light.
So part of a good matzo ball is that nice, beautiful. Oh,
Uh-oh.
not ready.
Well, you can tell by the color also, right?
Yep. It's dense in there. You can see that, and it's still that like dark matzo meal color versus the outside, which has that lighter cooked color. So these need to go longer.
So it should be that color consistently all the way through, right?
Yes, this outside
Okay.
color. I'm gonna bring these over because they've now been cooking for another 15 minutes or so.
Okay.
So let's give that a spoon test.
Spoon test.
That feels
Oh
nice.
my God, look at that.
Look at that.
So look at the difference right there. That's totally consistent, and that's totally underdone.
When you look at it, you can see that this is dense and that this is very if you squeeze it, there's so much moisture in there versus here, no moisture. The water's not inside there yet. How are these?
It is that kind of consistent. It's got some body to it, but it's still fluffy almost.
Right?
And it's nicely aerated throughout.
It's a happy medium.
Yeah.
They're delicious.
Perfect. All right. So you got the soup.
Smells so good.
Okay, let's talk seasoning, because as of yet, we have put no salt in there.
Except for the salt that is already on the chicken.
Yes.
And in the matzo balls.
Okay, good point, yeah.
You want to do it? Because I feel like you're going to get offended by how much I put.
I think we should let the home viewer decide how much we put in.
No, they can decide in their own freaking kitchens. Wait, that's way more than I thought
Is
you
that
were
way
gonna
more?
put.
But I don't know.
No, I
I
love
don't
that
make
for
soup.
us.
That seems like a decent amount. That's a lot of liquid.
She's perfect.
Perfect. All right.
How many balls would you like?
I would like 2 matzo balls, please.
No problem. Coming right up. Let me find you the most beautiful ones. So a slotted spoon so that you don't carry over any of that very salty liquid into the soup. 2 balls for you. I'm going to do 2 also. I haven't had anything to eat yet today. Okay, and then we're just ladling in.
I would like carrots with mine, please.
Great. I'm going to give you extra carrots and give me less carrots.
Oh my God, look at the color of that soup. So you have the orange and the green of the dill. Can I put the dill in now?
Yeah, dill and
Dill it
black
up.
pepper.
Oh, dill and black pepper. Again, so if you're doing this for Passover or any meal, add the dill at the last minute because you want it to be fresh. And also, what's really nice about the dill is when you bring it to the table, you smell that fresh dill.
Yes,
Which
when
is
it
really
just
nice.
hits the soup.
Yeah. Which I like about this recipe. I think it's like the sort of the best version of a classic as opposed to trying to reinvent something that doesn't need reinventing.
Might you call it BA's best matzo ball soup?
I might call it BA's best.
Just suggesting. Okay, I would like to eat this now.
I would very much like to eat this now.
Let's see how we did.
I think awesome. It's so good.
Absolutely delicious.
I mean, it's
Delightful.
perfect.
You hear that?
I just love it because there's so much flavor, but there's no one overriding flavor. It's
Yeah.
just delicious matzo ball soup.
And that's why we call it BA's best.
Molly Boz, happy Passover to
Happy
you and your
Passover.
husband. Cheers.